So I'm Monica Riveros. I am the marketing manager here at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also the staff liaison for the Business Resource Committee, which is the committee that coordinates the Coffee Talk and the Learn It series. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. Quick thank you to Shipley Donuts for every month they provide donuts and coffee and kolaches and this event. Also, I wanted to thank our other sponsor for this event, Regions. And I believe I have Karina Hernandez with Regions. She was going to speak real quick.
Good morning. So my name is Karina Hernandez. I am a financial relationship senior consultant. I've been with Regions a little over 2 years in the Houston market. A little overview of the Regions, what we have here to offer is the Regions is a full service regional bank with locations throughout Houston and the rest of Texas. Regions provides a full range of services for small businesses. Regions is proud to be sponsored of the 2021 Coffee Talk series. A commitment to Houston, Texas is an important market for Regions, and the bank committed to providing quality service to the market. If you feel comfortable, provide your email address or another way to contact the bank for a participant to reach out with any questions. Now with that, I'll go ahead and turn it back to you, Ms. Monica.
Thank you, Karina. We will have a question and answer portion at the end. So with that, I'd like to present Liz Carreno with HCC Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. So come on up, Ms. Liz.
Is Regions Bank here?
No.
They're on the internet. Okay.
There
That was them?
Yeah.
Oh. First of all, let me say thank you to Regions Bank for them being sponsored for this morning's event. And then let me say thank you to those of you that actually put on shoes, lipstick, and belts to come out in the rain and do this. This is probably my third event out since the beginning of the year. And for some reason, my shoes are like getting tighter and tighter. So thrilled to be asked to just come and talk a little bit about finishing strong in 2021. My name is Liz Lara Carreno, and I am the Outreach Director for the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses in the Greater Houston market. This is a national grant program funded by the Goldman Sachs Foundation, and it is for small businesses that it was originally created for businesses that were in growth mode. We actually hit 10,000 businesses across the nation in August of 2020. And with us being in the middle of COVID, Goldman Sachs came back with some more funding. And what we did was we changed the requirements. And it wasn't just for businesses that were in growth mode, it was for businesses that were in pivot mode. How do we help you keep your doors open? So from the requirements of 150,000, we lowered it to 75,000. From requiring four employees, which would include the owner, co-owner, we reduced that to 2 because we knew of the number of folks that were being laid off. But we did keep the operation at 2 years. Now, having said that, the applicants that we were getting, it is still a commitment. There are a number of great programs that are out there from SBA, a number of financial institutions, and we are not in competition. I don't think that there's enough programs that would actually meet the need of Houston because from the applications that I get, I can only actually facilitate a class of 35. And so when you get into the class, I tell folks, this is not a spectator sport. You don't just sit back and, I'll just read through the transcripts when it's done. Dede, would you like to tell them that's not a spectator?
No, it is not. It is it's the hardest, most fun you'll ever have working on your business. I wanted them to fail me, but they wouldn't.
She wanted, it's something to see the first 3 months. People are looking at their phones like, what am I doing here? I should be back in my office. And, what did I get myself into? And then when we tell them that it's the last class and you need to go, even at graduation, we're like, really, we want you to go. We want to close this place up and we want you to go. And so Beta came back and told a number of us, could you fail me because I want to go through it again? because you build relationships and you build a support system with other business owners. You are great at what you do. Can I ask what you do for a living?
Attorney CPA.
You're attorney CPA, business coach, you, sir?
I work with Terry. I do sales.
You do sales, and ma'am? And so what we have in a classroom is that you are really great at what you do. I've got a medical doctor sitting next to a roofer, sitting next to an eyelash maker, sitting next to a restaurant owner, you know, IT, you name it, all professions, all educational levels. All of you are good at what you do. You're a great photographer, but that's not where businesses fail. They fail because of the operation, management, financial aspect of it, which is what we work on with you. Okay, so that's what our focus is with you. When we write that strategic plan so that you're able to implement it, and you're implementing it as you go. This is not taught by Houston Community College professors. These are business owners, so we know what it is to make a payroll. Okay, so if you've ever been in that room on a Sunday night and said, if I don't get that bid, then I'm not going to make my third quarter. So that's really how we function, and that's kind of how I function, and what this morning session is about, which is why I gave you a little bit of that spill. I'm very direct in my communication. My job is to go out and look for applications, but just by nature of what I do in Houston, I've got about 850 business owners in over 50 industries. So, you know, it's not unusual for me to get a phone call and say, I need your help. Can I buy you a cup of coffee? So I get a lot, so I get to hear a lot. There's something that shocks me. But I will tell you the biggest honor is when somebody calls me because they felt that they could trust me enough to pick up the phone and ask for help. And that's, you know, for us, that's a great deal. I wanted to just do a quick exercise with you. I actually introduced this to Goldman Sachs, to the Goldman Sachs program. I've been fortunate enough to help rewrite some of their pieces. And there is that, how do I come in and talk to you about your business when I don't even know you? How do I get you to trust me when you come in here? And it really is just about providing a fresh perspective. So I'd like for you just to do a quick exercise with me. So I want you to tell me, what do you see?
Rooster.
What do you see?
Rooster and a guy with a hat.
What do you see?
Kids that are roosters.
In a house,
What do you see?
a farm, or animal. Kids looking at-
What do you see?
Farm.
What do you see?
A toy set.
What do you see?
Sad girl.
Look, I want to party with you. What do you see?
A record.
What do you see?
They're in a prison.
Cruise ship.
What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? What do you see?
City.
Construction.
What do you see?
An old TV.
What do you see?
Where's he getting electricity?
Out of Arizona.
What do you see?
It's the postcard.
What do you see?
Oh.
What do you see? What do you see?
Pilot.
How the pilot see you.
What do you see?
An old pilot.
Oh.
What do you see?
Oh,
What do you see? And what do you see?
Hurricane.
So when I introduced this particular, was created by Itzvan Banye. And it was a book of images, and he created it. It was really for adults, but it became very popular with children so that children could put their own words to the story. Okay. And so with these images, you know, when I saw this many years ago, it said, how do I go into a classroom of business owners? And someone's like, I've been in business 50 years, little lady, what could you possibly tell me? Or what do you know, or you're too young, or I was when I had black hair. And because when I started this program, I did have black hair.
You're not selling it, Liz. You're not selling it.
And now here I am. And so what I ask people whenever they come into a classroom, especially when it's about adult learning, it's that we all come in with a set of ideas and preconceived notions, just like we do with our businesses. This is how I've been doing it. And so when we ask you to begin to relate to each other, and as I sat here this morning eating my donut and watching people come in, many of you already know each other. But how well are you open and saying, hey, can I talk with you? I want to share some business ideas with you. How do you get that trust? And how do you come in with a fresh perspective? Meaning that there's more than one way to do things. And how do I get you to be open? And so when I begin to hear the ahas, this tells me at what stage you're in. When I hear my first aha, and then I hear the second aha. And so that tells me, oh my God, I guess I didn't know what was coming, because we're really good at finishing people's sentences. We're really good at predicting what's about to happen. And that's good to a certain point. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to limit ourselves to say, okay, I already know what's going to happen. Let me just go get my coffee and my donuts and, look at the pretty girl, and then I'll call it a day. So here, what I want you to do is just really look at it, at the balance of your second year with a fresh perspective. Okay, we are now first week, July. So that's beginning the third quarter, fourth quarter. And well, for some businesses, as he's shaking his head. So based on what your year is there, but for many of our businesses, it's looking at it per quarter and how do I finish it? So what's taking place right now that wasn't taking place a year ago?
We're opening back up.
We're opening back up, okay? And what else is taking place that we weren't even doing 6 months ago?
Well, gatherings.
So it's about really looking at it with a fresh perspective. I mean, no better time. And it's not about, I don't like the word going back to business as usual, because it shouldn't be. If anything, this past year should have taught us, how do I switch to e-commerce? How do I become agile? And how do I stay relevant? Because that's what's going to keep your businesses alive at this point, and in growth. And if it's not, and if you're not thinking in that direction, then this is a really great time to surround yourself with some different people with fresh perspectives that said, you know what, I could do this a little bit differently, and let's see what that looks like. So I want to just be able to really have you think about yourself as an effective leader and opening up those doors, understanding how your styles and motives are going to shape what happens for the balance of the year. And when I talk about personal values, I normally don't get into the touchy-feely, but when it comes to personal values, it's that what has changed you, that is that I now will look at things a little bit differently, how flexible I am. Let's look at work schedules. People have lost people. I don't have the employees that I have anymore. Either some have passed away, or they're sick, or they just changed their minds. So that should change how we actually do business. So a little bit about when a business owner calls me up. So Tere, since you're in the front, I'm going to use you. So Tere has called me up and said, I lost a number of my customers, and I need to figure out how I can get either new ones or what my year is going to look like, because I don't know how I'm going to finish this year. So I always take our folks back to our mods and to help me understand. So they'll call me up and they'll give me a list of things that are happening. And then I begin to take them back to what their strategic plans were. So when I talk about growth and opportunities, what did you identify in December of 2020 as the opportunity or the pivot that was going to take you through 2021? So if you want to begin to write down, what were the two things that I said I was going to do in 2021 in growth and being able to move forward? My money and my metrics, where am I in my PPP loans? What do I have in my bank, and what do I need to finish? Maybe not finish strong, but I need to finish so that I know that whatever I've got planned for 2022, I've got the funds to be able to do that. It's the leader. You know, I showed you the exercise about coming in with a fresh perspective, not business as usual. It's the people. We're going to look at a quick org chart and said, do I need the same people I had before to help me finish strong? Or what am I looking at this point? Marketing and selling. Who is my new customer for those of you that switched over to e-commerce or maybe created a new product or diversified what you had? Operations and process. Oh my God, commercial property up for sale and maybe, you know, changing. So do I really need all 20,000 square feet of warehouse space? And then being bankable. This is probably, most of you by now, if you've done PPP loans or if you've put together your finances, you probably have a much better understanding of your finances than you ever did before. And if not, then you got the crash course. So, and then, you know, putting it all together. So that's really what our business owners lead. Okay, this is something that I created. So it's not something that's like brand new to the world, but I want to tell you that because it's not part of our Goldman Sachs. But I get called in to do this presentation quite a bit. And so I created this because it's about performance management. It's about performance management. And for those of you that will want this, you can email me, you know, and I'll be glad to send it to you so you don't hurt your eyes. So business owners, is there a way to turn the light off on this side here? I mean, I'll do it. I just didn't know if I would like put everybody in the jar.
No screaming if the lights go out.
Just that, yeah, I just wanted something to, can y'all read that a little better? Okay, so this little one pager for me is everything. I even do this on a personal scale. So everybody understands what vision and mission is. Who can tell me what a vision is? What's a vision? What's the vision of your company? What is the vision of your company?
How do you see yourself in the future and how do you get there?
Okay, vision is not just pretty words. I want to be the law firm of choice. What's your specialty, sir?
Oh, tax law.
Okay, I want to be the law firm of choice for companies, for mid to large size companies with tax issues or addressing their tax. I mean, that's your ultimate goal in the state of Texas. Let's just say that. Your mission on a daily basis is that when you walk in that office, your mission is to take care of your clients one by one and their tax issues and make sure that they get resolved. That's your mission on a daily basis. That's why you get dressed and you walk into your office every day. That's your mission, okay? And that's how you're going to get to your vision. So in doing that, you've identified that, and this I just wrote goals for the vision and mission. They're usually 3 to 7. And I want you to think about what you wrote out for 2021 and for January. And the reason that we're looking at how we finish strong is that really relevant right now that we're in third quarter? You should be checking on a quarterly basis where you are. So the goals in order for me to reach my vision and my mission, and some of you that are very small companies may not have this kind of a breakdown, because it's the first column I want you to look at is over here on your left-hand side. The company has 4 goals with broad targeted areas. This is what you will work with your management team so that they write their goals to support that group. Management has 4 goals and specific initiatives to support the company's 4 goals in their area. And then they turn around and then they talk to their teams. And their teams have these initiatives that will continue. So this will continue to move up. So you have set the goals for the company because all of you are the CEOs. You've now met with your management team. Your management team says, here's what we are going to strive for. I need these specific initiatives so that we can reach our 2021 goals. And you are the team that is supporting this management. So you're going to turn around and write your goals to make sure that they reach theirs. So everything has a ripple effect. Can anybody tell me what 2 things we accomplished with this? What are 2 things we accomplished with this? Yes, ma'am.
You engage everyone.
You engage everyone. So when it comes to performance, who am I now looking at? Everyone. So I now look at company goals and I now look at individual people performance goals. Does that make sense? Okay, and it's important because if you want me to do all these things for you, I need to know why I'm doing them. And if I have a better understanding of that from a financial perspective and what's in it for me and what's in it for the company, then that's how I'm going to start creating that buy-in. So if you're not doing your part, then it impacts everybody else. And I'm going to make sure that you know it. Did I scare you? So I wrote my goals out here. Goal number 1, become the industry benchmark by raising customer service 25%. Goal number 2, generate 5 million by 12/31. Goal number 3, I'm going to install a CRM system and connect all my departments as phase 1. And then goal number 4, talent management. I'm going to create an internal leadership development requirement so that all my employees have that opportunity and they see that they can grow with the company. All right, so as you can see, I've got the arrow going down for goals. So now my management team create quarterly initiatives to support customer touch points. For the market share, create initiatives to support the achievement of 5 mil, and then create and support initiatives in the installation and the training, and create the initiatives to identify talent ready to step into leadership roles. Everybody with me so far? Okay. And then the initiatives that deliver the touch points, the initiatives that on how my area of responsibility is going to do this, the initiatives on how to participate in the CRM transition, and the training initiatives that I will be participating and being able to track. So this right here will lay out, this can fit into any of your industries. So when you're creating these goals, now comes my performance management. Now, we have some companies that were doing these on an annual basis, and we have some companies that were doing this on a biannual basis. I cannot encourage you enough to do this. If you're not doing this on a quarterly basis or monthly basis to see where your numbers are. You know, your numbers don't lie. And for me, every 30 days, I'm looking at where somebody's business numbers are, and I need to find out why they're not achieving them. Is it policy? Is it procedure? Is it the people? And if it's the people, did I not train right? Did I not clarify? Are they not the right people for that particular? So ultimately, everybody is involved here. So did this visual kind of help you where, was this helpful?
Yes.
So the second thing that I have them do when I pull out that performance, the vision and mission and performance, because I want to know what their goals were and I want to see the specific initiatives, is I have them pull out their calendar. And so I've met with a couple of business owners online in the last 2 weeks. And so I said, let me see your calendar, because their calendar tells me everything. I want to know what you have posted for third quarter and for fourth quarter. I want to know who the clients are that you are working to keep. I want to see who you've identified as your new clients. And I want to know what you are moving off the table till 2022. So focus on what is attainable at this point and begin to identify. And if the ones that I'm keeping, you know, find out, is there expansion? And this might even be a good time to say, you know what, they really cost me more than it's worth me doing business with. So this might be that one that says, time to maybe get them off my list. And I've seen quite a bit of that also happen. But the new, oh my God, there's just so much, there's a lot of opportunity there, you know, and people don't know how to look at this. Now, I'm going to tell you a really quick story. How many of you have ever been to Meet the Buyer event at the end of the year that City of Houston does in December? It's kind of like the end of the year event and kind of like end of a lot of these expos. Anybody ever been there? Oh my God, people. The City of Houston in December holds Meet the Buyer event. And every agency from airports, you have independent school districts, you have federal agencies, you have county agencies, transportation, everything, everybody is there. And they are required to have a senior buyer there. They have the list of all the RFPs that are coming up for 2022, okay? So even if you are not a project manager or project management is not, I'm just picking that particular industry. You know, one of the things that I tend to do is I will go and I will pick one up. Now, I'm not looking for a job unless there's a really great offer here. Is that, and I will take a look at what is coming up. And I might see that out of all, I might have picked up maybe 12 RFPs, and maybe the number one request is for project management. That's not in my wheelhouse, but if 12 agencies are looking for somebody to come in and do project management on a construction or transportation, then you know what? I'm gonna do a quick study and get my project management and then see who I can partner with and begin to jump in on some of these contracts. So it's really just taking a look at, just like I showed you Zoom, it's a fresh perspective. What's out there? What can I change? And that's what we did when we work with our businesses on how to pivot. You know, I kind of do that, but when I see that there is this much of a request out there, maybe it's time I pivot my business and expand that part of my wheelhouse, or partner with somebody that, hey, I can't do half of this, which I know you can do, but I can do this other half. And I think together we can go and bid on this contract. So, you know, to me, it's about really looking at it with a fresh perspective and how hungry are you? So I would encourage you to really take a look at that, especially when it comes to looking at what those new opportunities are. And I'll make sure, hi Carrie, I'll make sure that you have that date for Meet the Buyers, because it's definitely worth going to, especially since they are required to have senior buyers there. Any questions on the calendar piece on there? I just really put a plain one because I want you to go back and I literally would put papers out. I know for my outreach events, I have to identify where I'm going to spend my money and where I'm going to spend my time to get the biggest bang for my buck. And when I put the calendar up, one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is that in November and December, you should already be thinking about what 2022 looks like, which means that by October, you already know what your numbers are going to be to finish your year. So third quarter is really the last big bang that you've got to initiate for you to get whatever funds you're going to be getting for closing out fourth quarter. And then the last slide, you know, earlier when I mentioned that there's been a lot of changes, people either decided not to go back. We've had a number of business owners, a couple of them that actually sold their business or said, you know what, they changed the scope of their businesses just because of the impact that they had via COVID. And so one of the things that when I would teach this mod is that the people that you started with may not be the people that are going to take you the rest of the way in your company, okay? You're somebody's son and I hired you and you were really good at helping me with IT, but you're just not taking me now where I need to go. I'm about to grow really big and you don't have the talent for that. So if I can't find another place for you, then you're probably going to be out because I don't have an extra $50,000 to be paying you when I could be hiring somebody that's going to take me to, you know, my vision, to my mission and my vision and completing my goals. And that's really where I want to be. And I will tell you, there's usually a lot of emotion in this piece here because everyone's like, oh, but they've been with me in the beginning. I said, well, that's great, but they're not going to be able to take you where you need to go. And money is money. And unless you've got $50,000 just sitting around for you to be able to use like that, you really need to think of the bigger picture. Because if you grow, then you know what? Then you'll be able to hire more people. And that's really the name of the game. And sometimes maybe people just need a little push. And that I'm looking at your performance and I've seen that you've done nothing to maybe enhance your skill set. And maybe it's a time for you to go and do that. So it's having those conversations, and that comes back to performance management. So performance management within your company and what your growth is, performance management within your people, and are they willing to stay with you? And here's what I need you to do if you want to stay with me, because I'm not playing. You know, this is money, and we all learned some hard lessons over the COVID series about money. So, you know, it's really just being specific about that. So I always tell the folks to identify the most crucial of what you need in accounting, operations, or in sales. Does this person actually have to be in the office? Because they actually don't need an office. They need to be out all the time, you know, cultivating, or the ability to do that. And then I will tell you the number one change that in our program that we have been surveying, number one change is banker. They changed their financial institution. They have a better understanding of what the financial institution and the kind of partnership that they should have. The second is they all lawyer up. Third, it's HR and accounting. And many times HR and accounting becomes an opportunity for them to actually have that done outside of the company, because sometimes it's not something that's necessary to bring in. And so everybody begins to do business with each other. So again, it's just going after that business and understanding that market, who my market is and how hungry am I, you know, to go after it. I'm about to turn the lights back on so nobody be shocked. So I'd like to, I did not want to do death by PowerPoint, but I did want to just show a couple of the slides and some visuals so that you would have an idea, you know, of what that flow is and what the logic is behind that. So does anybody have any questions for me about this, or just about business in general? Or who does my hair, or really? Nobody?
Why don't you tell us about the Goldman Sachs program and the openings that you have right now?
I'm gonna get you a
I know, I'm good at these things, aren't I? I'm
$20 slide.
Well, no, seriously, I think it's a good opportunity. I think you have some openings now that you didn't normally have. I know you said they changed some.
Well, we did. We normally hold 3 cohorts a year, spring, summer, and the fall. Right now, we've got summer going on. And I closed the application deadline in June for fall. So they actually go through interview process. I only have 35 places, and I got, I want to say 200, but out of the 200, only 80 met the qualifications. And so they'll go through the interview. And then those that, because I don't fit everybody, then I'll hold them. My next class that I'm actually recruiting for is spring. Now, I am really pushing hard for Goldman Sachs to do online, and I'm not sure that we're going to do face-to-face in the fall. I'm gonna, you didn't hear it from me, but I think we probably are going to go face-to-face in the fall. And so that means we'll go face-to-face in the spring. But I really want to stay online because I think that it provides an opportunity for my folks from Beaumont, and remember, it's a 2-hour radius that anybody can come in. The demand was so strong out of Texas, which is why we have a site in Dallas. But there are 16 sites across the nation. Houston was the 4th city selected. We are #1 when it comes to women. We are #1 when it comes to diversity. And we are #1 when it comes to applicants. I'd like to think I'd have something to do with that. But the reason that I also want you to apply is that one of the things that I do is I now will take those folks that apply, and if for some reason you did not get in, I want to make sure I will look at your numbers and I'll say, you know what, Miss Which? Angela? You know what, Miss Angela, you were about $75,000 short. And so I'm going to send you 3 links, and this is where you should be cultivating business so that we can get your revenues back up and then you can apply for the next cohort. Okay? Because one of the advantages that I have is because I get to do so many of these things, it's like, if I remember your business, I'm like, oh my God, this is who you need to call. How many times have I told you to go to NAMAC and set up a booth there? Because those are, you know, that's an organization that really needs that kind of your service. I'm looking at you because I've already told her. And so I'm that person that, you know, if I hear something and I think that there's an opportunity there, then go, because I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's ass. And I'm also one of those that if you call me and you tell me something, you said, Liz, I need an introduction here and I give it to you, and you don't use it, don't call me again. Okay, because that meant that I called him to let you know that she was going to be calling you. And if she doesn't call you and then you call me, you say, oh, Liz, I'm like, no. I need to know that you're serious about your business. Because our mindset about business owners is we want them to be business leaders. Business leaders are about you've got employees, you have employees to take care of. You are now supporting the community. It's much bigger than being a business owner. We look at the zip codes that your businesses are in, and we're able to determine where if you are above, at, or below. Okay? And if we are looking at certain communities and we see that they're moving or dying away, then we've got a problem. That now becomes a problem in that part of Houston. And we don't want that to happen. And so we really go out aggressively and we take a look at what is happening in that community. And say, okay, what can we do to help you with their business? Because even if it's not, if you don't qualify for us, I can find a group that will come in and help you. You know, there's enough of those for us to make this introductions. But I'm just one person, so I can't even tell you how many car wrecks I've had. Working.
Question, you said that you were looking at zip codes and trying to find out if they're at, above, or below.
In their revenues, businesses that are registered. Here's something that you guys might want to look at, ICIC.org. ICIC.org stands for Initiatives for Competitiveness in Inner City. It was created by Dr. Michael Porter from Harvard. And he's one of the partners for the Goldman Sachs program at Babson College for this. And what they were doing is they were looking at the zip codes across the nation to determine why are all the businesses on this side of Beltway 8, I mean, revenues are above of what should be a standard in that community, in that city. And why are the businesses that are registered on this side of the Beltway below? And so then that's where they come in and they look at programs on, you know, what is it that we're looking at here? Do they not have enough of the right services to keep the community there? And that's the whole goal. How do I keep that community from going away? So there's a standard that is developed for many cities in those communities for what that revenue base should be. And that goes back to what tax rates, and so that's how they track all of them. And that's what they do, ICIC.org. So you can really find that information about Houston and just about any other city and state across the nation. That's what they do. If you have a question?
Yes. Or not. Connection between.
See, it just kind of falls in your lap, doesn't it? So, you know, I think it's, you know, after looking at your number and you map of your county and you determine, you know, You know, and we talk about that in March. What's that opportunity statement and what it is that you want to actually go out to get for your company? What's the vision? And you want to identify, you know, who are the right people. And once you've been able to do that, you can use a company like, would you like to introduce yourself? Absolutely.
My name is Mary Rodriguez. I'm owner of Action Personal Solutions. It is a staffing company located in Houston. We provide services of temps and tomorrow and retired. We do have the HR department, OSHA department, and county. We have grown tremendously with small, medium, and large businesses.
And one of the areas has been in
Construction, industrial, manufacturing, pipelines, oil and gas departments. That's what I do.
name that.
NAMAC, I'm a board member there, and I'm also
So Terry, would you like to talk about the HR benefits that, what is the name of your company?
Employer is one source group. So,
And your company does.
once you get that person, I take care of that person for you. So like I always say, I help owners mind their own business by taking care of their employees. So where you have issue with an employee and you want to talk to someone and help you guide you to what to do with it, that's what I do. So I take care of your payroll. If they have insurance, I make sure you have the best coverage for yourself. Workers' comp, someone gets hurt, I make sure they get taken care of and back to work as soon as possible, because that does cut into your profit. So basically, I become truly your HR company outside of your business.
And if I don't like them, you fire them.
You got it. I don't have to hire and fire. But I don't, you know, I take care of your employees that you might get from her recruiting people. I do some, but that's not my main goal. My main goal is once you have it, is to take care of them for you.
Yeah, and if I may add, you know, a lot of owners are doing all of these things on their own. And they're trying to wear all these hats and do all these things. So focus on what you do best. Let experts handle the HR and the payroll, the benefits and all.
The tagline for our program is, you want to work on your business, not in the business. And if you're doing day to day, if you just spend a whole day trying to figure out the benefits or how you're going to take care of the insurance number, then you're not being the rainmaker that you need to be. So you need to think about what I do best. He's a great lawyer. He may be a crummy opponent, you're CPA, so I won't say that. You might be crummy at marketing, okay? You might, that might not be your strength. So it's hire Beth Guy to do your website and help you identify who that audience is. So all of these folks are here in the chamber, you know. So my Zoom perspective that I showed you is about look at things a little differently and what can I do from this point on, because I've got 6 months now and actually 5 months, because December should be about celebrating the successes that you've had, but it should already be about, you've already written out what your goals are going to be for 2022, because they should begin that implementation process almost immediately. And that's based on what you just finished up for 2021. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Does it sound like too easy? How many of you want me to go home with you now? Are there any other questions before I hand it over? Okay. So how many accountants do we have here? Raise your hand. Anybody in accounting? Okay. We have, is it just one lawyer? 2 lawyers?
No.
Just
CPAs.
CPA? Raise your hand, huh? So they need to know who you are. I mean, this is about networking here is about business. Who do I need to meet? Okay, HR benefits. What up? Marketing. Who are my marketing people? Okay. So what other businesses do we have in the room?
Printing.
I'm sorry?
Printing.
Printing. Okay.
We have a very unique business sitting right here.
The lookout services, we provide a I-9 compliance software solution.
Electricity broker.
Electricity broker. See, I just want to have coffee with you to find out what you do on that.
IT for 37 years.
Okay. Experience and credibility is what you bring with you. Okay. And you're very calm. There's something very zen about you. You know, we'd call you up and going, come here now.
Payroll HR outsourcing.
You, sir?
Property management for my family business.
What is it?
Property management.
Property management. Okay, for your family business.
Photography.
You make people look good.
It should be. Disinfection and germ control. Disinfection and germ control.
Anybody else want to do the pitch, their business,
Office space.
office
Shared
space?
office space.
Anybody else? Okay, well then with that, I will hand it back over and thank you so much for giving me your time this morning.
Thank you.
By the way, we have a fan club on Zoom over here. They keep saying, we love her.
All right, thank you, Liz. Thank you, everybody. Please grab coffee and donuts on your way out. There's plenty.
Oh, I just want to, and if you want to find me, it's at Liz Lara Carreno. And if you want to email me, you can email me Liz Lara Carreno. Everybody here should go on GoDaddy or register.com. Everybody should own their own name. Everybody should own their own name, not just your company names, but every aspect of it. And you should all be writing industry pieces. So I shoot people or I shoot people. I don't know if you can get away with that, though. And that way they know where to find you. And the reason that you want your name to match every piece of your social media is that so when you write industry articles, they can find you. And that's how you want to begin build your following so that you become the subject matter expert in that industry. All right. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.